My name is Terrell McCall, a senior student athlete here at Alabama State University, and currently I'm majoring in public relations. This year I'm taking a course that goes by the name of Multimedia Ad and Design, and it's led by my professor, Jasmine Hunter. Now, the reason I'm making this video is to um, basically explain the findings that I discovered during an assignment that we were given. Now, this assignment basically um, instructed us to watch a brand over the course of 2 weeks, and we were to watch how they moved throughout the media, anytime their name was mentioned, and basically just see how companies work in the media. And for me, I chose Nike. Now, I chose Nike because it's a big part of my life, me being a student athlete and playing baseball. I wore it a lot growing up, and I've always been fascinated with the company and how big and productive it is, because nobody competes with them. They're almost a monopoly. So I figured that doing this assignment and choosing them could give me some insight on that. So here are my findings. In about the past month, 2.5 weeks to a month, Nike sales have jumped 31%. Now, this, partly being due to Colin Kaepernick. Now, Colin Kaepernick is a former NFL player who ran into some controversial issues over the national anthem about a year and a half or so back. And ever since then, he's been in and out of the media, has made attempts to get back into the league after being kicked for kneeling. And Nike really shocked the world with this brand campaign, the annual Just Do It campaign. Now they chose him to be the spokesperson and the face of the campaign, and even released a commercial that had his voiceover and his face at the end of it. There were mixed responses to this, and some people thought it would hurt Nike, but in the end, it did quite the opposite. Sales jumped 31% after they unveiled that Colin Kaepernick would be the face of the company. And after an initial dip immediately after announcing it, it jumped, skyrocketed, to say the least. And this was what Hital Pendia had to say about it. There was speculation that the Nike Kaepernick campaign would lead to a drop in sales, but our data over the last week does not support that theory. She also went on to say Nike stock held up after its initial slump. The stock rallied 2.2% on Monday and has retracted 93% of the decline into a three-week low, and it suffered on September 4th. Now, mentions and comments about Nike on social media platforms rose 1,678% on Sunday and Monday after they unveiled the announcement on Saturday, according to Nike's online sales report. Now, for me, I think the branding campaign was a slam dunk. I think it was amazing by Nike's part to go and get Colin Kaepernick and let him be the face of this campaign. And it makes me appreciate Nike even more for doing something like this, and especially choosing a minority in a time where he's really struggled in the media recently. Secondly, I found Nike about 2 or 3 days ago. Nike released a statement about Odell Beckham Jr. Now, if you're not familiar with Odell Beckham Jr., he's one of the first NFL players to ever get his own signature shoe. Now, this is huge because, it signs him up for royalties later, endorsements, even more endorsements by Nike, and any shoe that is sold, he gets money for. So it's a pretty big deal. And this past weekend, Nike released a special rendition of the shoe, partly due to the postseason going on in the Major League Baseball league right now. And the Yankees are playing the Red Sox, and they made a shoe that basically paid homage to Nike's rich baseball history. The Yankees having 27 World Series championships. That's the most championships by any team in any league or any any sport in the world. So they made a special shoe for Odell Beckham Jr. and wanted to make a special announcement about that. And next, about a week or so ago, Nike partnered with a 9-year-old girl that goes by the name of, her name is Dear Gianna. Now, Dear Gianna is 9 years old, and she's a designer, one of the youngest in the world. And basically, the campaign that they partnered with her for is a girl power sportswear inspired campaign. So the campaign is outlined by 3 shirts and I think 3 or 4 hats. And the 3 shirts all have, splashes of visuals and all different types of colors that promote girl power amongst young women and young females and young adults in general. Now, I think this is, once again, an amazing move by Nike, partnering with such a young designer. I think it's very inspirational and really gives kids, inspiration to say that they can do anything at any age. Next, yesterday, on Wednesday, October 10th, Nike stocks fell, surprisingly, about 6.8%. Now, this isn't due to any campaign or any wrong thing that Nike did. It's actually due to the overall sell-off of the overall stock market. So Nike isn't the only company that suffered. Companies like Amazon and Alphabet and also Netflix also saw drops. Now, by the end of the day, Nike was down 6.8%, but during the course of the market day, it dropped as low as 7%. And lastly, yesterday Nike made an announcement about their first year fiscal reports and their 2019 first quarter results, and basically projections of how they think the stock market will go next year for the first quarter. And they announced that they are basically the richest they've ever been, and stocks are up as high as they've ever been to in the year, it looks like. Now, to go into detail a bit more, Nike stock sales are up 20% year to date. So that means that any previous year that Nike had, their highest year, this is 20% more than that. So Nike, you're doing something right. Also, they projected that next year, from January to May, the first quarter, they project that it'll even be 15% higher than it is now. So I highly recommend that you buy into Nike if you can. But that is the assignment, and those are my findings that I found. And I think this assignment really helped me because, it made me appreciate media a little bit more. And I honestly had no idea that, Nike even reported things like fiscal results of quarter years and, anything other than shoes or clothes or anything like that. So it's nice to see that companies like Nike are multidimensional and not just here for the consumers. So thank you and have a good day.